You're listening to Whispers of War. Hello everyone and welcome to Whispers of War, show number 7. I'm your host Sil, and today is going to be a little bit of a different show, but I'll explain that in a bit. So let's just start with how was my week in World of Warcraft. I actually did quite a lot of things, which is surprising for me, because I thought I was going to get a little bit bored with, having finished all the quest lines on the Horde side. But I was very wrong with that, if I'm honest. So what did I do? I was determined to get to the next bit of the Honor-bound rep, because I really wanted to finish my war campaign. And I managed to do that. Luckily with, war fronts and everything, it really does help. So, managed to do that, and I am really enjoying the quest line. I won't say too much about it. There will be spoilers later on. I will actually warn you for that, so, I won't say anything about the war campaign on Horde side if you have not finished it and you don't want to get spoiled. But I really enjoyed it. I then had to get... This might be a bit of a spoiler, but I had to get Vol'jin's ashes from the Echo. I don't know if that's actually where the ashes are in the Echo Isles, or if it's near there. I didn't pay much attention. I'm really bad, but I was just like, oh my god, I'm talking to trolls again. I'm really happy, but not quite sure where the ashes came from now that I'm starting to think about it. But anyhow. That was a very cool questline. I really enjoyed that, but I have a feeling that I'm missing something, because I've seen the second part being data mined a while ago, where you see, okay, spoiler, big spoiler for a minute, that you see the spirit of Vol'jin talk to Talanji. I have not seen that, so I don't know if that's actually already in game or if I'm just missing stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing anything or if that's just something that will happen later on. Maybe it's again hidden behind reputation. No idea. I think I'm missing half of the stuff, what's going on in game, in all honesty. I feel like I'm really much of a noob this time around, just because I didn't play the beta. I didn't really pay attention to lots of things that were data mined, because I really wanted to experience it as if it was fresh and new, which it is, in all fairness. But sometimes I do feel like I'm missing little bits. But, if I stumble upon that, so be it. There is no rush. It's only been out for a few weeks or over a month now or something, so it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I finished my war campaign for now. I did that whole quest line for Vol'jin's urn. Then I started to do the quests for the war fronts, but then, if you're Alliance, it was the other way around now. So we have a base now as Horde, and I guess we have to do some questing for that. And I don't know actually what happened. I was just like, okay, I'll hand him some quests. I need to kill some stuff. Okay, done. And that was really it. But I did enjoy myself, so that's something. I had to kill some elementals and collect some crap. Basically, you had to kill shit ton. It was like Hemet Nessingwary, but then with Arathi and killing lots of militia and elementals. That's really what it felt like. Oh, and ogres, let's not forget those. But it was fine. I did not mind it one bit, and it's really nice just having a big group of players just killing everything, and thank God that mobs can be, tag teamed. So yeah, enjoyed the war front. Still haven't done any, maybe the 2 island expeditions. I need to do more, because I hear that that's really good for rep grinding. Have not done that at all. I couldn't even find the guy where you sign up for island expeditions. I know it's really bad, because I did talk to him, but I didn't twig that was the guy for the island expedition. So I went like, oh, alright, that's where I go. And then I avoided it for the rest of the time. So I've done that. What else have I been doing? And I'm still, looking at the other reps. I think for Pathfinder Part 1, I still need to get 3 reputations up, which is the Tortolan ones, the ones with, I think, Talangi's expedition. And, what's the other one? Ooh, the Champions of Azeroth? Yeah, that's probably the one. I am at Honored now. Or is it Revered? Yeah, it's Honored. And I just, yeah, I haven't gotten really far with that. I'm taking rep grinds as they are. A little bit at a time. If there are emissary quests, I will do them anyway. If I come across a Tortolan, because I actually quite enjoy the Tortolan ones. I love the whole, you know, guiding low through little mazes. I really like that. I like the shell game, because it reminds me of memory when I was younger. I love those. Not so much a fan of that whole, you know, a turtle made it to the water thing. I find it very cruel to let your kids be eaten by the wildlife. So I'm a little bit like, that's fucked up. Okay. That gives me sort of anxiety just to shoot all the wildlife to get these turtles to live. So I'm not a fan of that one. But other than that, I'm quite enjoying it. I actually started doing some pet battles again against all the world quest mobs, basically, in Zuldazar and Kultiris, and I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying that for some weird reason, and that made me go and do some really stupid stuff, which was go and find 2 pets that I want. So one of them is Una, which, yes, I know, previous expansion, but the reason why I want Una is because I want Baal, or is it Baal-ul? I don't know. That goat, the satanic goat. That's the one I want. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to get Una first because I need her for the goat. So might as well just get her. So I got all the stuff that I needed for him, or to get the many-faced devourer to be summoned. Yeah, that fucker doesn't drop the doll. So it's been several days now, and I don't care if people said, oh yeah, that drop rate has been increased. Not for me. So still have not received that. So my rogue is now and again popping back onto to Argus to kill that thing off. But so far, no luck. And I know I can do it on alts, but I refuse to do it on alts. I'm a little bit like, you know what, if it takes extra time, I guess it keeps me busy. So did that, and I thought, well, I might as well just start doing the whole pebble hunting for the goat. So I just have to wait until I get Una. I do check now and again in, is it Gorgrond? No, well, the one where the orcs are, where the horde base is in Warlords, and it's not Gorgrond. I know it's something else. Oh my god, I can't remember it. Where the frost wolves are. Anyhow, so I just thought, you know, I'll do all the pebble thing, and I already was a bit like anxious about platforming. Does that make sense when I call it like that? So things when you have to use your freaking goblin gliders and you have to jump from one area to the other and just hope that you're okay with finding the hidden path. You know what? I've surprised myself. I've really surprised myself. I didn't suck as much as I thought I was going to suck. I had some issues with the water walking and the fatigue that you have to persevere through, but that got better. I died, I think, once, and then I had to redo something, and actually once I started using water walking as a potion and just mounting up, because, you know, some of us don't rep grind for water striders. I know it's dumb, but I have not done that. That actually worked, and that worked much better, especially when you put like coordinates in your TomTom. That helps. But yeah, I got all the pebbles, and I have to say it is actually so much fun, and I have so much respect for the people who unearth all these weird things, like all those secrets. Like, I'm just amazed at the people actually find that, and especially these little crappy little pedals. I'm just like, how on earth have you found that is a thing that you can click, and in that order? Like, I don't understand it, but it's really, really cool. I like these little journeys that you're taking onto. So yeah, I am now at that point that I can get to the goat. I just need someone with an Una to make him less one-shottery. Is that a word? It is a word now. So, yeah, still don't have the goats, but I will get him. as soon as I get Una. And, you know, I do want Una as well, because I want to see her storyline, but I hear that there's some more goblin gliding in that storyline, so that's going to be interesting. But maybe I'll surprise myself again. So that's all I've been doing, apart from a bit of roleplay. And I am really having a good time again. I jumped on my troll warrior, my female troll warrior, because I just wanted to see how RP was on her, and I actually had some really, really cool RP sessions with some lovely people in Oggrimar. So it was really fun to. It's nothing like special. You just, you know, you have conversations and nothing. It's more like small talk. No big quest lines or you know, epic journeys that we all went on. It was just little chats, but it was fun enough. I haven't really chatted or RP'd on my male troll character, because for some weird reason, every time I log on him, I don't know if people... I don't know what it is, but he has such a weird attraction to people that every time he gets online, female characters just flock to him. I don't know what it is, because I don't do anything. Like, I don't RP anything special with him. He's not, you know, I don't RP him like a flirt or anything weird like that. And not that it's weird when you're flirting. If you want to do that in your RP, go ahead. I've seen some people do it amazingly well. It's just not for my character. It doesn't suit him. But, you know, he's I guess a fun personality to be around with. I think he's kind of cool. Very laid back for a troll. Even more laid back so. And I don't know what it is. Even if I'm just having a conversation with like other male toons, all of a sudden you have like this gaggle of women characters, and they all seem to want something from him. And I know that sounds very vague, and that's because I don't want to make it really, really nasty. But somehow they all seem to turn that conversation that way. So I'm a little bit like, I don't know if I want to keep playing him, because he has a really weird effect on these female characters. So, yeah. Odd. It gives me a giggle now and again, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, come on. Every time, this is not like, you know, World of Dating. This is just my character lounging in Oggrimar, not doing much, and just stop flirting with him all the time. But that's me. And maybe I'm a grouch or something. It's fun now and again. Like if they flirt in the beginning, my character would go a little bit with it, but I'm still like, okay, this is not a dating site. I've had some really weird conversations in the past on female toons. I will not go into that, but I've had some really weird whispers on my toons. However, I think my male troll is taking the cake, in all honesty. Yeah, I'm waiting for that first really dodgy whisper on him. So we shall see. We'll see where this goes. I might have to play him again once they start buffing shamans, because I do love the class. It's very, very flashy. I love, you know, what you can do as a shaman. They just don't do a lot of damage at the moment, unfortunately. So yes, I've also been RPing. And I think you can say that I'm really enjoying this expansion. I do feel a bit like it's the expansion that I have no clue what I'm doing, which is fine. But yeah, I feel even more so that small changes I just have not really picked up on, and it's strange, but I'll discuss that later on in the conversation I have with Fascha. So that will bring me to the next bit. I had a really, really cool conversation today with Fascha about patch 8.1 Tides of Vengeance. There will be some spoilers in there, so I'm just warning you now. We will talk about the spoilers and we will give you a warning, but if you really don't want to know anything about 8.1 or some of the storylines that have been happening before, like the war campaigns and things like that, then maybe skip some of those bits until we go further on. But yeah, I'm just giving you a fair warning now. And I just figured, because I am quite intrigued by 8.1, that's really what I wanted to talk about this week, because it's still kind of fresh and new, and yeah, I just, you know, something to look forward to, at least in my opinion. But if you want to hear more about that, then stick around and you can listen to that little conversation I had with Fascha right now. So today I am joined by a familiar voice because you were my guest in show number 3.
I was.
But Fascha's back because yay, because you know, like I said to Fascha in the beginning, I feel like me and her, we have such a long history in World of Warcraft together. We bounce really well with each other when it comes to news and just how we feel about World of Warcraft. She's a hardcore raider, I am so not. So, you know, I think from a raiding perspective, it would be very interesting to have you on the show, because what we're actually going to do is something different. We're not going to talk about a topic or anything related to that. It's more about, you know, the patch notes that they've announced for 8.1 Tides of Vengeance. So we're going to semi-prep for this. I did write some stuff down. So I don't know if you you noticed this, but when I listened to Ian just talking about it, he said something about, you know, this is the patch that it's the time for the Alliance to strike back. What do you think? This sounds very much like a almost Alliance-centric kind of story that's going to happen.
I think it's about time that the Alliance gets a bit of love. The Horde have been at the focal point. I mean, look where the current raid is. It's like slap bang in Horde territory. So I guess it was to be expected that Alliance are going to start getting a little bit of love, especially given what's been happening. It's been kind of slowly mobilizing and getting our shit together, so to speak, as Alliance. I know this may be confusing for some of you because I was all for the Horde, but I'm currently playing Alliance. Because I wanted to raid, and my friend, I was struggling to find a guild that would accept me as a returning player, and my friend came to my rescue and said I could join his guild. So I'm playing with them, but they are Alliance, so I had to compromise.
But you know, I think for the benefit of this show, this is really good, because I'm such a hardcore Horde player now that it's nice to hear it from your side, from Alliance, what's happening there.
Yeah.
So I think that works really well. So the first thing he mentioned was that it was going to be very, you know, we're going to get very story-driven content, which means that our war campaign continues. Now, I've just finished that this week.
Yay!
Yay for rep gating, that's just great.
Oh, God.
I don't know how other people do it. I'm so crap at rep grinding. Like, honestly, I can't do it. And
I hate it.
Yeah, and then seriously, and unlocking everything behind reputation. Okay, I understand that you don't want everything to be done within a week, but even so, sometimes it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to kind of dip in and play. I mean, it's got to the stage now where I don't really log on much unless it's a raid night.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
It's just overwhelming. I do have my contract up for Champions of Azeroth, and I'm now revered. And I'm revered with pretty much most factions apart from the flipping turtles. But what I do is I log on and I look at my emissary and I think, right, this is my emissary. But I try and always do the Champions of Azeroth quests wherever I can.
Yeah.
Say I have like Order of Embers and I have to do my 4 quests in Drossfar, I will always do a Champions of Azeroth quest, or I'll do a quest that maybe drops, I mean it's not so relevant now that I'm gearing up, but a piece of loot that I want, or some Azerite, and I'll try and go at it that way and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I think that's how you have to do it. And I think the good thing is, even though, like, for the Tortolans and Champions of Azeroth, there aren't so many quests like some of the other areas. No. However, you get, like, a lot more. So you get 125 rep instead of 75 like most, you know. And, yeah, you have the contracts so you can use them. I'm just really curious to see where this war campaign continues, because this is going to be a bit of a spoiler for those on Horde side. So with the Horde side, you know what happens, you basically convert a Tide Sage to an undead and you steal a scepter.
I heard about this story. So sad.
It is very sad. It is very interesting to see where the Forsaken stand in all that. So I do think it's a interesting storyline just to see how all these Forsaken get created and how they experience that change from being diehard Alliance and then all of a sudden you're diehard Forsaken.
You're dead.
Yeah, the struggle there is very interesting, but so you have that scepter and you're going to do some shit basically with it. That's what they're set you up with. So I'm curious to see where it goes for Horde side, because it felt a little bit like, okay, we have this weapon and now what are we doing now? it's a little bit but how are you finding it for the Alliance, the war campaign?
I'm not entirely sure, if I'm up to date with the war campaign.
Okay.
I've seen Jaina, sorry, spoilers here for anyone who's not done it, be reunited with her mother. Mm-hmm. Her mother has forgiven her and seen the light, and that to me was really fun questline. It took a long time to finish, but it was really, really fun. I know there is more to do because I've watched videos and cinematics, but honestly, I need to look at Wowhead because I've lost the line somewhere. And I know that there's going to be there's a cinematic with ships where, we have a big go at Lady Ashvane and stuff like that. But I can't seem to find that part of the quest, so I don't know what I've dropped or missed. I might have been clearing out my quest log.
That might be in your main city, because I had the same thing, because people said to me, also spoiler, like, oh yeah, you need to, you will see an amazing thing with Vol'jin and blah blah, and I'm like, what? I have not seen that yet. yeah. So I'm definitely missing something, because I know there's more cinematics, because I've seen them, I watched them, I couldn't control myself. I have the willpower of a toddler. So yeah, but in terms of other Alliance-y stuff, my view is that we need to get out there and start kicking some ass. I really want the 8.1 changes. I really want 8.1. I mean, it's not confirmed. They just kind of left that kind of elusive comment that we're going to be a lot closer to Kultirans and Zandalari after the events of 8.1. So, for God's sake, just release them. I don't know if it's been confirmed that they're actually going to be released. They will be afterwards, yeah.
After 8.1, okay. But not necessarily with 8.1?
I think you have to do the whole quest line probably for them. So,
easy though.
Yeah.
And it's the rep that we're already getting, which I need to get my 7th Legion rep, which is our Alliance equivalent, because that is one that I really cannot be asked doing. I think I'm revered with them, but I personally find the easiest way to get rep is through the mission tables, and I always try and get like 200% chance so that it pulls up, and I often get like 1,000, more or less 1,000 champions of Azeroth rep in a row. Well, not 1,000, probably 500. I'm probably doubling that, but I get quite a lot of rep by doing it that way, by doubling up, especially because champions of Azeroth do give you more rep.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. I'm just, there's a huge chunk about rep grinds and everything that we need to do in a bit, because they had so much. I think 8.1 is going to be one of those patches that are going to be very, very filled with so much stuff to do. And I'm wondering if we're going to get, like, just with Legion, that people go, oh, there's too much to do, I don't know what to do, but in all fairness, I'd rather have too much to do than not enough.
Yeah, true. I'd like to be able to choose what I'm doing, and at the moment I dislike that there's just the one raid, and that's kind of what I'm building around at the moment. It's kind of one heroic raid, because we're not in Mythic yet in my guild, and it's really annoying. But I just really hope we're going to get the Kultirans and the Zandalari soon, because I really want to level a druid, and I don't want to level a druid any of the Alliance races. I want to level a Kultiran, and I like their kind of weird, creepy kind of vibe. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's because I really want a Zandalari troll, so I think
that as well.
it's really, really time that we get there now. So some of the other things that they said when it came to 8.1 was that we're going to get incursions, which is going to be like the Legion invasions we had. But much more centered between Alliance versus Hordes. Now, I don't know if that's going to, when you hear that, you think PvP, but it probably won't. It will probably be like an invasion for my character, like Alliance NPCs that you will have to fight back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand basically how the incursions are going to work. I understand they're like the Legion invasions. Mm-hmm. But I don't. Are they like? I didn't play Legion, so you're gonna have to help.
Okay, so a Legion invasion was basically that the Legion would invade an area, and then those world quests would be turned into special quests for. I don't even know if it was for special rep, but you got special items for whatever faction it was that you had to get items for. So it's
like quests on crack.
Yeah, basically. I would almost say yes, and I would expect that it will boost some of the reputations that we are having at the moment.
Okay.
And you can probably also start collecting, I don't know, an equivalent like stupid crystals for something to buy something.
Okay. Oh yes. You see, because I played Legion right at the end, all of that stuff was already ungated for me. So that's why I get confused.
But the good thing about all of this, and that's for me why I was really, really interested in it, is not so much the invasions or the incursions themselves. It's the fact that this makes leveling alts so easy.
Yeah.
Because this is what I used to do on my alts in Legion. I would just go to that area and went like, we have an invasion going on. Great. That will give me about 2 levels per all these world quests that are going on. And that was it. And then I would put them on the shelf again and wait until another invasion would happen.
Ah, clever. But I do like that they're making some changes to generally make the expansion more alt-friendly.
Yeah, and I think if they are going the way as Legion did with the invasions, then incursions are going to be great for, because I'm not going to do that again with my alts. I'm not going to go for that quest line again. I just don't want to.
No. I quite like the Alliance questing and the Horde questing, actually. I did quite like it. Some zones more than others. Mm-hmm. But then I tried to level my Horde Warrior the other day, and as soon as I actually start doing it, and I'm like, no, it's too soon. I remember all this from like, it feels like yesterday that I did this.
And I have that exactly with Alliance at the moment.
Yeah, and it's kind of... Maybe if I tried Alliance, because I leveled actually my Paladin more or less halfway before I then started playing Horde, mm-hmm. Maybe I would feel differently because I leveled Horde most recently, apart from the last few levels of Alliance. This is getting very complicated. Yeah, because of that, because those zones were quite recent to me, maybe that's why. But I do think this X-Pack, they need to kind of step it up. And I really hope that 8.1 is gonna be that patch. A lot of the people I'm talking to are getting quite bored. People are kind of waiting. I mean, it is what you get out of it, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, and people keep saying, it's the unfinished X-Pack. I don't know if it's the same on your server. But I think we play in the same server, technically connected.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing in chat, I don't know if you've probably seen it too, oh my god, this X-Pack is not finished, or like stupid jokes about things not being ready, especially with all the disastrous incidents with the war fronts and people not being able to get in or handling...
Or the lag.
Yeah, or the lag. But I think Blizzard need to kind of get it together, and this needs to feel a bit more like an X-Pack. I started off really loving the expansion, and then I kind of went into a bit of a I don't know about this, and now I'm starting to enjoy it again.
Yeah, it goes up and down. I've had the same thing. I need to give myself a task basically to get where I want to be in this expansion.
Yeah.
Because, they have so many new things that they want to implement in this new patch. I mean, okay, new world quests. I will be honest, I'm not like super like, oh yay, great, but
I don't think anyone is.
No, but if we get some more variety, I guess that would be great. the one thing that I'm really, really, really looking forward to is the character storylines that we get for Sourfang, because he's still, he's still in the stockades.
Sourfang is my bae. I don't release him.
I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with his story, but also, and I'm so happy they addressed this, the fact that we're going to see more about Tyrande, and they actually focused on her, and because they said Tyrande first, and not so much Malfurion. But
thank God, I'm sick of him.
I know, I'm like, I wish Sourfang would have killed him.
Oh my God, yeah, I kind of wish he'd been killed, because all we ever hear is, Tyrande, I need you. And we're all kind of sick of it, to be honest. I'm sick of his bitching and his whining. He needs to, dude, you're the most powerful druid there is.
I know, he's too hippie. I know he's a druid, but he's too hippie, like, seriously.
He's totally, I mean, when you hear about, I'm gonna get political, when you hear about these kind of, like, incel guys who are like, oh, these guys have been emasculated by women, ooh, rah. That is who I think of. I think of, like, Malfurion, like, yes, Tyrande, anything Tyrande, can I lick your boots, Tyrande? For God's sake. I hate this phrase because I think it's got so many loaded connotations around, like, mental health and stuff, but he needs to man up.
For someone who's supposed to be that powerful, he's really, there's nothing there. I've not seen any, like, battle-hardened warrior in him at all.
The voice doesn't help.
It's just, it's, yeah. It really reminds me of a wet towel. I'm not happy with them.
He's a wet noodle.
Someone else who's absolutely not a wet noodle is Vol'jin, and apparently we're going to see a lot more of Vol'jin, which makes me really happy because I thought, okay, dead, but not so much.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, really interesting to see more about him and what happens because, okay, spoiler, at a certain point you have to bring his ashes to Bwonsamdi.
Oh God.
And he goes, well, where is the spirit? And it goes, no, you can only do that if you're, and then it cuts off, basically. That's when we get to find out that there's someone who is actually ruling over Bwonsamdi, so he has a boss. Which
means we've heard about his boss.
There's a lot of speculation about who it could be. And then, what could happen with Vol'jin. Now, a lot of people are speculating that Vol'jin himself became a Loa, which I'm okay with if that would happen. I have not gone that far into the questline, because I know there is a cinematic with him and Talanji. I have not seen that yet. I might have to unlock more reputation or something. I don't know. But it will happen. So yeah, we get more storylines. Yeah. Now, some other things that they threw at us was heritage armor, which we're not just going to get for our allied races, but also for the races that we already have. So they showed some concept art for the dwarves, which I thought looked really, really cool. Much better. I'm really sorry for anyone who's enthusiastic about the dark iron, but I thought this armor looked so much better on the dwarves.
Oh man, yeah, they look so fucking cool. Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but they look so cool.
You know what they remind me of? I know it sounds really weird, but they remind me of Warhammer dwarves with that armor. So that looked really, really cool to me. And we're also going to get Blood Elf heritage armor. And they said that you don't have to rep grind for it, but I guess that just depends, because you need to have your max level of that race, and then you have to have the exalted reputation with that faction. So I guess for, Blood Elves you would have to have the, is it Thalassian reputation, and for dwarves you have to have the dwarf
Sunreaver or something stupid.
Yeah, something like that. So, if you have not done any of that, I think just run some old dungeons. You can do that with the tabard, can't you?
I think so. You used to be able to. I mean, I remember back in the day where you had to be exalted with a faction if you wanted to buy their mounts.
Yeah.
And I remember back in TBC on my Blood Elf Warlock farming that flipping undead rep so I could get my dead horse.
Yeah, I had the same because I wanted, then I was a Draenei for a while and I wanted a saber. So I had to
I did my saber because I wanted a gnome on a saber. I thought that would look so cool.
Exactly.
But kids today, they don't know they're born complaining about rep grinds. They should have played in vanilla.
Oh god, yeah, that was interesting, rep grinds back then.
Yeah, you had to literally just hit a ball, hit a million balls.
It was ridiculous. But I think nowadays, if you want that rep grind, it's not going to be that hard anymore. I think if you also just level something from the beginning, you'll get shit tons anyway.
You'll get it.
So talking about the war fronts that we've had, we've experienced the war front in Arathi this last couple of weeks. We're going to get a new one. And I'm really happy that, there's actually a change of scenery. So we're going to Darkshore.
Yay!
So it's going to be very Forsaken versus Night Elf orientated, which is cool because,
cool.
Yeah, what I like about it is when they said, oh, we're getting new structures and upgrades. That just reminds me so much that it looks like the Warcraft 3 style, so your units are going to be changed according to where you are and which campaign you're almost at. So I think that's really cool. How did you experience the Warfront?
I've not done the actual Warfront.
Okay.
I need to hand in my WoW card. The 1 week that Alliance had it, I didn't really play very much. And this last week we didn't have it, and now we've got it again. So I am going to do it this week. I did some of the quests in Arathi, and me and a couple of other noobs. Because this was just after it came out and we had access to it. We had access to it first as Alliance. Me and some newbie people that I befriended decided that we were going to go and solo the tank boss thing in the middle of Arathi.
Yeah.
With 5 of us. That didn't work out so well. So we gave up. It was literally the first day after the Warfronts. I think it was the second day because I think the first day would lag too bad.
Yeah.
And then the second day we tried, and there was nobody really else online at the time I tried to do it. And then I didn't log on, for a few days. And then last week the Horde had it, so all I did was give in resources, which is pretty cool. You get your rep up a little bit. But this week I'm going to try it and see how it goes because I've heard really good things about it, but only from people once they actually start doing it. And I think I'm a bit kind of it doesn't really appeal to me, but I've heard a lot of people were like that. And then once they did it, I think it was Taliesin said he ended up doing 4. And he only was kind of meh, and then he ended up doing loads.
I have to admit, I was the same way because I thought, okay, I'm not going to really enjoy this probably, but I really did because it feels so much like an RTS to me.
Yeah.
So I was out there chopping wood and just, handing it in and upgrading everything because that's what I really enjoyed. And also when you run around and kill rares, or it spawns rares also for you, when you do the actual war front, it will say to you, okay, there a rare spawned here now. Go and kill it for extra resources or something. But the chances of you getting upgrades to your gear are actually really good, I think, when you start out.
Which is the main reason I want to do it. Basically, anything in WoW, I will do it if there's a chance of me getting good gear.
Such a loot whore.
Yeah, I'm a loot whore. That's all I care about. A loot whore and a mog whore. But on which note, I'm hopefully going to get my Thunder Fury, finally.
Finally? That's really nice. Don't yell it in Tradechat constantly.
Just link it with the word anal in front of it.
Exactly, that's how it works, isn't it?
That's how you're supposed to link things these days. And ever since flipping vanilla or whenever Dirge came out.
Oh god, I remember that.
I think we talked about this last time.
In all fairness, for anyone who thinks that vanilla was that great, it really wasn't because we had this kind of crap to deal with.
And Baron's chat. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was another great one. But yeah, the Warfronts, I'm really, really looking forward to now. Darkshore, this time it will be the Alliance who will start with donating. So they've switched it around, which I think is good. So
it's good.
Yeah. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this Warfront. Now, some other things that we're getting are the new islands. I've not done a lot of island expeditions. I should really do it.
I hate them. I hate them.
I should really do them because apparently they're really good if you do your dailies there. That you get a good chunk of rep for the underground.
Yeah, you do get quite a lot of rep, but they're so boring. It's literally just they've got no structure to them, and I like structure. I like to know what I'm doing, what I'm going to get, and they just seem a bit haphazard. It literally is like Alliance in Warsong Gulch. You're just running around in the middle with your heads cut off.
That's perfect.
It's just like Alliance in Warsong Gulch. You're kind of like, what's the objective? Nah, let's just run around and, you know, hit a few things and hope for the best.
Yeah,
at least it's in every group I've been in.
I've done one, and it feels very much okay. It's a scenario, it's against NPCs, at least the ones that I do, and I'm just like, I think this is what I need to do. Oh, there's 2 other people. Where are they running? And that's very much what it feels like at the moment.
Yeah. Exactly, and I have to play it. I mean, I main. This has changed since we last spoke. I main Holy Paladin, and I have to do it as rep. I don't trust anyone else to A, bother to keep me alive, and B, it means I can kill stuff and then actually, you know, click on things and do things rather than be kind of gimpy and stand around. But yeah.
No, I know what you mean. The one thing that I found really interesting was that they gave the names of the 2 new islands that we're getting. One is Yorendal, which is based on Vrykul culture, and the other one is Havenswood, which is a Gilnean island. Yeah. That really, really surprises me, because I'm just like, okay, so the Vrykul and the Gilneans are making a bit of an appearance.
Yeah.
How does that fit in?
Exactly. I mean, we've got Gilneans in game. You know, in the Wargame, but we don't have Vrykul. So what does that I mean, if I were to speculate and look into my crystal ball, maybe the Horde will get Vrykul. Maybe that will be one of the race slots.
It would be really interesting, considering that we have the Valkyr under control by Sylvanas, or at least some of the Vrykul.
Exactly.
Sorry, the Valkyrs, not the Vrykul.
The Valkyr, yeah.
So that will be really interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see what will happen with that. But I found it really weird when they said that.
Yeah, and I do feel like the Horde possibly need another humanoid race that isn't pretty and woo woo woo, look at us, aren't we cute?
Yeah, true, but they will look pretty, you know that.
Yeah, but I'm after some kind of real badass kind of, you know, I'm sick of all these pretty elves.
Well, we got Magar Orc.
Yeah, but there can't be a Magar Orc paladin.
Oh, you're so determined to get like a really cool paladin that's not an elf.
Yeah, I want an orc paladin. I should probably just switch to Draenei.
Yeah.
But or dwarf. I might go back to my beloved dwarf. I played dwarf for so long, and I loved it. I loved playing my female dwarf. She was so rare. Everyone knew who I was.
Oh, you could always go Dark Iron now. They can be paladins, can't they?
Yeah, they're kind of cool though, but I think they're a bit... I don't want to say they look unfinished, and their hair looks amazing. But they look a bit kind of one note, like the skin texture, it's all the same kind of colour.
Yeah, that's very much the same with the Void Elves and the Ironforge, that I was a bit like... Okay.
They just look like reskinned, basically, with cool hair.
I think with all the new allied races, the hair is the one thing that always pulls me like in. The rest the rest feels a little bit like, okay, not that much. So other things we're going to get with the islands are new events and enemies, holdouts apparently that we can trigger. I have no fucking clue what they mean with that, but I'm sure that it's like a new sort of event. And we're getting more updates to the system in regards to clustering and rares in the islands, so that could be interesting.
That could be interesting. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it could be interesting.
I tried to listen to him and I went like, I have no idea what you mean with that, but I'm sure, you know, at least it's not just, oh, here's 2 new islands. It seems to be a little bit more that you're going to do with that. Now, the one thing that I'm sure that you would be very interested in, and something I want to talk about because I'm a little bit like, God, another Horde city. So we're getting a new raid, which is called Siege of Oggrimar. I mean Zuldazar.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, Really? We know how well that went for, you know, what is it? Warlords of Draenor when we had Siege. So... Was it Mob? I can't remember. It was Mob, wasn't it?
Mob. I actually really like Siege of Orgrimmar. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite raids.
You know why? I loved Siege of Oggrimar until it was like 6 months of Siege of Oggrimar.
Yeah, you see, I stopped playing by then.
And I think that feels like, oh, okay, but make sure that you have the pacing right with this one.
Yeah, Blizzard need to get that right.
Yeah. And I think they have done with Legion at a certain point. I felt it was pretty right. So we're going to get that the war is going to come to Zandalar. So the enemy is basically opposite faction, which is, I think, really cool because that actually, you know, it's Battle for Azeroth. It is very much the faction war. So I'm very happy that they've done that. They said it was going to be a separate faction experience. So the Alliance will join Jaina to confront Rastakhan, and then the Horde will rush into his defense. So the rest of the Horde raid is a fight against Jaina.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the best way of looking at it is looking at this video that is out there about the raid that's coming to explain where everything is. And I think it's really interesting that we as players get a completely different experience, but we still know what will happen because they said at a certain point that you will switch to the other side no matter your faction, so you get a retelling of the story of the events that happened.
That's good though.
That is really good, I think.
Because at least with all the kind of with the pre-expansion stuff, you had to actually play it like the Siege of Undercity. You had to play it as the other faction to see the conversation on their side. So I quite like that, especially as there is so much investment into factions at the moment that it's not quite as easy just to hop onto an alt that's, you know, at that level and
especially
do a raid.
For a raid.
Exactly, it's really not that easy. So they I think they made the right choice there, and we all know that, you know, we're not going to kill Rastakhan, we're not going to kill Jaina. I'll be surprised if we do. I'm saying, you know, they're going to like go mwahaha and now I'm going to get away.
Rastakhan, I can see him getting killed just because he's not in power anymore.
Good point. And Talanji has been, you know, people love her. And
she's been set up
she's been set up as a future leader, but Jaina's going to be fine. Jaina will be fine.
I can't see her being, maybe she's captured, that might be something, but I can't see her dying at all.
No way. She's only just got back.
Exactly. I can't see that happening, so Rastakhan maybe, or maybe he's gravely wounded, or maybe he'll go, you know what, I can't do this anymore, and basically pass the throne to her. That might be.
Maybe there's going to be some weird Bwonsamdi shit going on.
Yes. I think we're going to get some, because, you know, he is the Loa who looks over Zuldazar. So... And wouldn't a war in the city also benefit him with all the souls?
Definitely. All the souls are he's going to be having a soul party. Never mind a sausage party, he's going to be having a soul party.
That's just going to be Bwonsamdi's soul party. That's
exactly. Bwonsamdi's disco soul party. I want a front row ticket to this party. I want to be there. But maybe this is where Jaina turns into a dreadlord that we've all been waiting for.
You know what? Stranger things have happened, so...
Do you think that happened? Gnomes happened. So, you know, we'll see.
I just want to know, what I'm really curious about is, remember the Caverns of Time, when you go and do things like the Arthas quests, and depending on your depending on your race, you changed, because, you know, certain races were just not there yet.
Yeah.
And... I'm wondering if you're going to be switched to the other faction to see that point of view, if you're going to be changed into whatever race that's going to be.
I thought we were just going to see it. I didn't think we were actually going to be physically, our tunes were going to be switched.
No, we are going to participate actively in it, I think.
Whoa, okay, that's kind of cool.
I'm not entirely, like, don't quote me on it, I don't know for sure, but that's the gist I got, that we are going to experience maybe that as well, but
Yeah, you see, I probably misunderstood. I thought we'd just be like not an active participant, but we would just see it. But that would be awesome. I just hope to God they turn me into an orc. That's why I love using my orb of deception. It means I get to be an orc for 5 minutes or 4 minutes or however long it lasts.
that, good point. I hope that my blood elf turns into a Dunai.
Yay!
That's what I'm hoping. That's not the only raid we're getting. We're also getting the Crucible of Storms, which is a 2 boss raid. We're uncovering some dark secrets beneath Stormsong, so I think we know who's in there. So it's kind of like Trial of Valor, which is great. I think that, sometimes you don't want a big, massive raid.
No, well, I like the short ones, and I cannot wait to see Ajara. I honestly cannot wait.
I think it will be a while before we actually see her again, but
I think we'll get maybe a mirage, like in the Stormsong dungeon.
Okay.
So I reckon I would be very surprised if that raid doesn't have any kind of interaction with her, even if it's her like in the background talking to somebody or we hear her. I'd be really surprised, especially after all the teeing up they've done of Ajara recently with the video. I think it would be strange for Blizzard not to. I mean, all we see of her so far in game, correct me if I'm wrong, is that very short, like 2-second chat with Lord Stormsong before we kill him. And I think it would be a very long game for Blizzard not to kind of tease her.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think, we'll probably
I don't think she'll be a boss, no way.
No, not yet. That's far too early. And it's the same with, I really honestly don't think we'll see N'Zoth just yet. Maybe we'll hear something. No. But I think that's something that has to come much later, because I think she'll be a bigger part before we actually go towards N'Zoth anyway. So this raid will come after Zuldazar, which is fine for me. I'm happy that we can focus on that first. And it said something about supporting world content, so as Horde you will find out what has been going on in Stormsong, because I was really confused when they said things like Stormsong, and I thought, yeah, but does that mean I have to switch everything and just go on my alliance and just do that whole questing area, because I have no idea. But they actually want to, and I like this about Blizzard, that they now say, no, for the people who are Horde, you will know exactly what is going on the Alliance side, so you will get the story behind why we're going there, what's been happening, and I thought that was really, really good that they're actually keeping in mind that some players want to know the content but don't want to go to the other faction.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone should have the opportunity to experience all the content. And I mean, yeah, you can say, well, you've got to work for it, but I think given not how difficult, but how time-consuming it is these days, I think Blizzard are definitely doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I think, the simplest thing would probably be, have an Alliance character or a character on the other faction just to see both sides, which is true, but I think some people are so invested in their character. Like, when I play my Blood Elf, I think she would want to know, why would I have to go to this... the Crucible of Storms? Why would my character even be interested in going there?
Yeah, exactly. What is it?
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So other things that Blizzard has said for the next patch was going to be system improvements and more, which basically boils down to Shadow Priest, you're going to get a buff, I hope.
It means that Shaman are going to be wiped of the earth.
You know what? I think Shamans, because they have been a little bit like the poster character for this expansion.
Yeah.
In all fairness with Zappy Boy, I think they need to be properly buffed. So
fix them.
Yeah, I think that a lot of, like I said, they're going to tweak the classes, they're going to tweak specs. We're going to get some Azerite traits that are going to be removed and new ones being added because they just didn't work.
Yeah, functionality with that is just, it pisses me off.
I just looked at it and I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. I don't even know what I'm taking. I just click on random things when I see an upgrade. I don't really care that much. Not yet.
Sometimes it's not even clear what the upgrade is.
No, sometimes it's really unclear, and sometimes you pick something and you're like, oh shit, I do not like this at all.
You know you can respec it though, right?
Yeah, I know, but it's just, especially when you're out and about, I'm just like...
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I ask you because I did the Nubius thing this week. Having not raided in several, expansions, I needed to change a talent in the raid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell this. This is a 2-part story, and somebody gave me a scroll to do it. So I was kind of like, okay, cool, because before you used to change the talent and it would consume the scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to click the scroll and then you can change it as much as you like within like 1 minute.
Okay.
I did not know this. So I said, when I moused over the talent that I wanted to switch to, like I think it was my auras I was trying to switch, it was red and it wouldn't let me do it.
Mm.
So I'm like, it won't let me do it. And they replied going, oh, odd. And they didn't think any more of it. And neither did I, until I went into another raid and tried to do it again. And I was like, for some reason I can never change my talent in the dungeon and in the raid. And then the person who traded me a scroll said, you need to click the scroll and get the buff. And I was like, oh! So that was my new moment this week.
Well, and no, in all fairness, they've switched and changed that constantly that I wouldn't even know. At a certain point, I'm like, yeah, this will do. I don't know. This is what I have to do, I guess. It's just... I don't know, and it's the same with the Azarath trade. That took me a while to figure out how to. I'm like, okay, so am I stuck now with this, or what's happening?
What did I do? Yeah,
exactly.
Sometimes I feel like that it's not explained very well.
No, not even with the tooltips, and I have those on.
Yeah, I have those on, but to be fair, I'm terrible with instructions. As soon as I start to see instructions, unless it's an IKEA thing that I'm trying to build myself, and in which case I just hire someone to do it for me, I just click them off. I got a new coffee machine today, and instructions, I just plugged it in, put it together, and prayed for the best when I made my sweet cup of joe. It turned out okay, nobody died.
That's how it works, isn't it? Like I said, and exactly with IKEA, you can get people to do it for you, so...
Yeah, I'm such a man when it comes to instructions and maps and things. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And I'll like chuck it and I'll go, and then I'll be like, I'm stuck, and I just binned it. Oh well.
Can I just say, because this is completely derailing like we always do. Yeah. Me and Dan built our entire bedroom out of IKEA stuff, and I said to him, if we survive this as a couple, I think we're good. I think you're good. I think that's the true test of relationship. Especially with the frickin' wardrobe, I can tell you that, so...
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend got his friend to come and help him build everything before I moved in. Because I think he knew that if I moved in and we tried to do it together, it would be Arena Part 2. I would murder him.
That would be your own little war front, in all honesty.
Yeah! IKEA war front.
No. I don't know. Some things, I love this expansion, I really do, but some things are just not, it doesn't really make sense to me, but I just, maybe I don't pay too much attention. It's the same with, so we're getting more profession recipes. Now, I'm not going to moan about this, but I am, because you have, these quests for, the Tortolans, and it says, oh yeah, you can get this recipe, and it already starts at rank 2, and it says, you don't have the previous rank, and I'm like, do I need to buy these recipes? How do I get these recipes? It's just... Yeah, like I said, I'm probably doing something really, really dumb, but I'm just like... I remember back in the day when it's just...
It's clear.
Train.
This is the Wowhead expansion. I spend more time on flipping Wowhead than I do in game.
I know, I'm like, how do I unlock Magar Orcs? How much prep do I actually need?
Yeah, exactly. I just feel I'm spending almost this world of Wowhead.
Yeah, I'm there a lot more than I remember back in the day with Footbot, but...
Oh yeah, Footbot and was it Alakazam or Alashazam or whatever?
Something like that, yeah. So yeah, it's been an interesting time. Things I'm not super interested in, but maybe you are. No, there's going to be a No More Gun Pet Battle dungeon.
No.
I like my pet battles. I really do.
I've even got a third pet battle slot.
But I'm just like, okay, dungeon, not something I'm really that interested in.
And with gnomes, what are they going to do? Like, the pet's going to fight the gnomes because they're the same size?
Maybe. Maybe we'll get all leper gnomes and just tinker toys, or I don't know.
Oh. I'd rather just play, like, you know, the cool frog lower and just jump around on him and eat the leper gnomes. Now, that would be a raid I would do.
You know what? I wish we could just become our Loa now and again. That would be really cool.
Yeah, Johnny Man.
I like her. You still think she's a girl. I'm going to think.
Yeah, I think she's a girl.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Who thinks she's a guy? What the hell?
No, I've seen that. I've seen people on like forums going, "Oh yeah, him," and I'm
but that's because people are biased. They've got like bias. She's clearly a girl. She's like a badass troll, not a literal troll, but a troll.
But she is a bit
troll.
Exactly.
I love her.
I like her. I think she's one of the greatest Loa to have.
And I like her quests. They're fun.
I think so. And I like just seeing one of her little shrines and it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then she like freezes you into some kind of like death space.
Exactly.
She shouts at you.
No, I like it. Other things that we're getting, map improvements. I don't know how they're going to do that. Reputation improvement. So champions. This is the big one. Champions of Azeroth is going to be account wide.
Woohoo!
Which is great, I think, because it's just like they said, you know, why do you have to grind this on all your alts to get that? Now, they actually said a lot about reputation. So reputation for restricted items, for instance, you know, tabards, those are going to be removed.
Thanks.
So if you've unlocked that on one character, basically all your characters now have access to those tabards. And they also said something, and now I might not have this the completely correct way, but basically your reputation is going to be account-wide. It's not going to be accumulated in the sense of, you know, if character A has like 1200 rep on this and character B has 16 on that, it won't be...
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
No, but it will take the highest, I think, from your account, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And that will be overall your reputation for that faction.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. But the one thing I wish they would make account-wide is wardrobes.
Yeah, I think... Because they quelled that, didn't they, at a certain point? That they said, oh, well, no, yeah, if you're wearing mail, you can wear everything, and as cloth you can't.
No, what I mean is like... Okay, I'm running Black Winglair and flipping Molten Core like a crazy person, trying to get my Judgment Helm and my Judgment Legs. Mm-hmm. And the number of times I've got flipping Nemesis Raiment for my Warlock, running that, and of course I can loot it, but it doesn't get added to my wardrobe.
Yeah.
I don't care about being able to wear cloth on my Paladin, but it would be great then to be able to log in to my Warlock and be able to access that because I've looted it on my Paladin.
Yeah, I think that's probably, again, I understand it. I think for cosmetic reasons, why not? I can understand that they might think, oh, well, for Twinks it's going to be a bit too overpowered, but it's, I don't know, it's, you know, it's one of those things that hopefully, you know, how long have we been moaning about reputation for account-wide? Like decades, almost?
Yeah.
So this is a step.
I think it's a good step. I just really hope they do it with wardrobes, because I don't see it benefiting Twinks because it's just appearance. Mm-hmm. And I would rather not run like Blackwing Glare like on 4 toons, because you know what happens. You'll get the flipping warrior gear on your paladin, the paladin gear on your warrior, and the warlock gear on your mage.
Yep. And
that's because that's the rule of WoW. Whatever you need is going to drop on your roll.
Exactly. Except a mount. You never get a mount.
Yeah, you'll never get a mount ever.
So, no, I know what you mean. I'm hoping that maybe with the reputation, then slowly they will change stuff like this.
Yeah,
because they do seem to listen to the community a lot more lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I'm just going to keep shouting at them.
I think we all need to keep, you know, be vocal about what you want. I think that's important nowadays. I mean, you are a consumer, so why not?
On the other hand, thank you, Blizzard, for an expansion that is really fun.
You know what? I'm really, really enjoying it. Like you said, I'm just with 8.1. We're going to get well. Hopefully, we're a bit closer to get Cultirances on the Larry, because they actually said that after the raid we're going to get them.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means with after the raid. Like after this raid has run its course, or
maybe the last boss gives a quest. The quest.
Maybe, but apparently you're so friendly with them then after what you've done that they will...
Yeah, like maybe they band together with us to defeat Jaina or Rastakhan, and then an NPC gives us the quest.
Yeah, you know what I was really, really surprised with is that they said that you don't need any new reputation for them. You just need to be exalted with the Sandalari and the Proudmoors.
Well, I was predicting that. So
that's good.
I was relieved that I was right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because can you imagine starting again with a new rep faction?
Well, I think the community would riot. I honestly think that they I don't think they would dare, given the feedback that there has been about it being a big rep grind. And as we were saying earlier, these kids don't know they're born with rep grinds, but it is a lot of work and it is a lot of time. And in vanilla, we had nothing else to do but rep grind.
Exactly.
And whereas now, there is so much more you can do in game that it feels so much more time intensive.
Yeah, because now you really do have to divide your time between things, and back then it was just a bit like, well, yeah, we can do rep grinds now because there's not so much to do. I mean, we didn't even have achievements or things like that. It was just, you had it.
Yeah.
So they say that this is coming to the PTR at the end of the week. I'm presuming that's this week. I'm not on the PTR. I don't want to get spoiled.
I've got it, but I need to update it.
Ah, okay. And there's going to be new art. That's something I got really quickly from one of the slides, and it said, "Oh, new art as well." And I'm like,
"New art
really?
For what?"
Yeah, like
for the
new
loading
art for
screens?
what? For models, loading screens. What are we getting?
I'm guessing maybe loading screens.
That would be really cool. I would like that.
Yeah, I love the art of Warcraft.
Me too. I want them to, produce another book.
Yeah.
Just our artwork, because I really missed that with this. That's why I didn't get the special edition this time.
Yeah.
Because I want an art book. But they also said that they want to hold on to the Legion patch plan. That's what they're going to stick to. And I think they did that really well in Legion.
Yes, I agree. I didn't play it, but I read about it, and I've listened to people talk about it.
For the first time, I felt the pacing was amazing. It really did well. I do think that for people who might take a mini break in between, then it will be a catch-up game. Because then people will go like, oh, I'm 2 patches behind. What, then it could be a bit much. But I'd rather have too much than not enough.
Exactly, and there's nothing worse than it being, like you said, Siege of Oggrimar, like so long, because that's when people stop playing. That's why I stopped playing. I was like, I'm sick of it.
Well, this is a thing that I want to talk about. So, during Kata, we received, as some people called, the Blood Pact, or the Blood Pact deal, which meant that if you would sign up for 6 months...
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even have to pay immediately for 6 months subscription fee. Was it 6 months or a year? Something like that. You would get the new Diablo game. You would get, I think, some other things like goodies in game. And you got Teriel's Charger. Now, I was going to play regardless, but that was also the time when the subscribers went down really quickly at a certain point.
Yeah.
I am not going to say, because at this point in time, we have now received a new deal, which is a new mount and a new pet, Captain Crackers, which is a parrot, which I think is quite funny. But the Dreadwake mount is a ship, which doesn't water walk. For some weird reason.
It doesn't float.
No. So that's a whole different story. But, people are already saying now, oh yeah, this is the same as that, because you have to pay for 6 months, then you get this mount. They're trying to get money, blah blah blah, and because they're already afraid of subscribers that are going to be lost. And I'm like, but surely this mount and this pet have been made months before. So I don't think they feel like it's going bad, quote unquote.
It's a bit worrying that they have it in place, though, because Cataclysm was a horrible expansion.
Yeah, and that's the problem is I can't really do but compare it to that. That I'm a bit like, why are you trying to get people to pay for 6 months?
One in. If subscriptions are like an all-time high, which is what they were saying the other week, why would they need this?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's just a little bit of an incentive, like, oh, here, guys, this is, at least after 6 months, this is what you'll get.
Yeah.
Because I think you don't have to pay for it. Do you have to pay for it in one go for 6 months? I don't know. I
think you pay... I don't know. I think you pay up front.
Okay.
And it works out obviously cheaper because you're doing it for 6 months. And I could be wrong. I think you pay up front for your 6 months and you get the item immediately, because I've seen screenshots of people using it.
Well, the thing is, I have it. Because
you have it. Well then.
I do, but I paid for it. I paid my subscription like 2 months ago. And all of a sudden I see this thing in my gift box glowing. I'm like, what? What is that? Oh, what? I got a mount? And that's when I saw all the stuff, rolling down Tradechat.
Oh, God.
People just moaning and complaining. And I'm just a little bit like, well, do you have to? Because I always pay for 6 months in one go, because I just find that easier.
Yeah.
And a bit cheaper in the end. I am Dutch, so we do watch the pennies. And I was just a bit like, okay, so does that mean if you're a person who only pays every month, are you going to get it after 6 months? Or do you have to pay...
You get it as soon as you pay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you've had 6 months, like, I don't know, like, constant, and that's why?
Yeah, maybe. I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
So that if you've not paid recently and then you've got it today, that is confusing.
Yeah.
Strange. Maybe it's a bug.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not, I'll pay for it again 6 months' time. I'm going to pay anyway, so I don't. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really understand if people get it after paying for a monthly subscription, just 1 month, after 6 months, that it will go, okay, well, you've paid for 6 months now, you're going to get it, or no, you need to pay us a whole chunk of 6 months first.
Yeah, that would make sense from a business perspective, because they're trying to protect, like, they're probably worried about their recurring revenue with the subscriptions, like with people constantly paying. So that's why they're trying to get people to lock in. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're talking wider than WoW here now. If companies like Netflix and stuff started doing that, I mean, we hear about all the debt that Netflix is in. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing something similar. Like, if you pay 6 months up front, you also get access to certain series and stuff.
It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. And personally, I mean, they're still a company. They're still a business.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not. I mean, look at other companies. Was it? I can't remember. Was it Ubisoft that constantly has like DLC or?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, we get expansion packs, and this is purely cosmetic. If you don't want the ship, it's not going to change your gameplay.
Nope. But what makes me sad is that it doesn't zoom across water.
I know. I would have loved that, because I had to do some water walking this week, so it's just like... Oh.
Yeah, I don't have the flipping angler mount either.
No, because again, it's a rep grind, and I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to have to go back and grind in Pandaria.
No, or go to your garrison and do it. I don't want to do that either.
No way.
No. So yeah, that's really all about... What do you think? What are your concluding thoughts about the patch?
I hope... I think it's too early to tell, but I hope this is going to be a really good raid, the one that's kind of different for each faction. But I'm a little bit wary, because it's the first time Blizzard have done this, given a totally different experience to Alliance and Horde. There are going to be people shouting and crying and saying that one side has got an easier raid than another. And I look forward to seeing how it pans out in like battles for world firsts, stuff like that. I think it's going to be quite interesting that way around.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see where all of this goes.
Yeah. I can't wait though.
No, same
I
with me.
level my new druid.
Same with me. I'm looking forward to have my Sondalari troll.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you for having a chat with me about 8.1.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry, I'm the biggest noob ever. I'm like, I don't know this, I don't know that.
You know, we can both be noobs together. I don't think either of us proclaim to be like amazing.
We're not
You know, it's just like, at least, you know, you and I know how to have fun in game.
Exactly, and we'll talk about anal dirge anytime.
Exactly. I'm hoping that you guys are just as enthusiastic about 8.1 as me and Fascha are, because we are a little bit enthusiastic, I guess, about everything that's to come. Like I said, I hope it will be very much like Legion with patching and, you know, good content updates regularly until we get a new expansion. But I'm very positive about it so far, so yeah, let me know what you guys think, what your initial thoughts are. One thing I wanted to say to you guys, what I also did this week, I ran some dungeons. I know it's not a big thing for some of you who already like doing mythic pluses, but I did some dungeons and I'm really enjoying them. I have to say that sub-rogues are insane with their damage, so that's good. I'm enjoying the spec, so that also helps a lot in the dungeons. But I feel like they're really, really cool. I've done Waycrest Manor, I think it is Waycrest Manor, and, you know, the spooky one, as if you're in a haunted mansion. And the other one, which was, it's the one with Yasma and poor Razan. That one. I can't remember what it is, but I did that one. And, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was quick. Everyone knew what they were doing, apart from me, but everyone knew what they were doing. It went quick and quiet. No one spoke, like always. It's just dead silent. So, yeah, I'd rather have people being really quiet than people being horrible. So that was really it. Oh, the only thing someone said something to me was when they wanted to have my loot, which was fine. So that's also going to be my nice thing of the week. Someone said, "Oh, can I please have that if you don't want it?" I said, "Yeah, sure, trade me." And I did that in looking for raid as well. So that's all good, I guess. That's my good deed for the week. I trade my stuff with people if they want it, and I don't need it. So yeah, I've just been busy in World of Warcraft, and I'm not really done yet. Though I'm not entirely sure what I want to do now. Do I want to go back to the Alliance questing area and play a little bit there or not? Because every time I log into my Alliance Hunter and I start some quests, I'm a bit like, I'm not really bothered. Maybe it's I've become proper Horde now and I'm just like, I don't really care about the Alliance quest line. How bad is that? Because I do want to know about, you know, the storyline a little bit, but I'm just much more invested in the Horde side. So I am going to keep going, but maybe I need to switch it up. I'm still in Drustvar. I'm now at the second part of Drustvar, as I like to call it, and I just don't find it that interesting anymore. I might need to switch it up and go to Terra Sound. Is that what you call it? The one up north? I might just go there. Just to change things up a bit and see a different area. You know, because I did like running around there on my my rogue, so hey, maybe I'll like it even more when I actually am playing as the faction that is supposed to be there. So that is really it. Yeah, for next week we're going to have like normal program as always. So I will have an interview with the lovely Kristen. So we'll talk about how your gaming has changed since you started playing World of Warcraft, and with that, it could be, you know, like I said last week, maybe you were a hardcore raider and your life has completely changed. You might be working now, or you have kids, or maybe you just don't feel like you want to raid anymore, so you have to change your time. Maybe you used to be dead set on PvP and now you're all for the RP. things like that. Or maybe you actually started playing a lot more than you used to. So I would like to know how you changed and what made that change and how you used to play. And if you have an answer to my question, you can always send that to the email, of course, whispersofwarpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find stuff on whispersofwar.podbean.com if you want some show notes or older shows, you know, the usual. Or you can reply on Twitter if you want to keep an eye on all the reactions on there. You can go to Twitter and @whispers_of_war for all those, you know, things that I just dribble on about, questions of the week, other things that I want to know. And also, if you want to be a guest, then please contact me on either Twitter or email, and you know, just let me know when you're available, what you would like to talk about. All you need is a microphone. So with that, thank you so much for downloading and listening to the show. Your support has been amazing as always, and I hope you have a very, very great time in the world of Azeroth. Bye-bye!